What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are driving a 1998 BMW 740i. This is E38 generation. We have the owner, Kyle, with us. Kyle, give us a brief rundown of this awesome E38.
That's a pretty good car. I bought it for $2,000. I've got $4,000 in it.
So 6 total?
About, roughly.
Okay.
And some change. I've had it about a year now. I bought it from Atlanta and brought it up here to Nashville. So I've put 10,000 miles on it since purchase.
Yeah, so you put a fair amount of miles on it. It's basically stock as far as we know, correct? Yeah. This is the M62 B44. This is a 4.4 liter V8, non-Vanos. It makes like 286 horsepower, or thereabout. Yeah, so it's
about the same on torque. Yeah,
about the same on torque. So it's a healthy number for this car. I'm very excited to drive it. Let's go ahead and take it down the road and see how she rips. This is what this car's natural habitat. So this is what this car is made for, which is also true. This is this car's natural habitat. Highway burning. And it has the most silky smooth V8. It sounds great at 4,000 RPM. And honestly, you don't even hear it until 4 grand. So initial impressions, the ride is very supple, but I think what's better in the ride is honestly the quietness of this car. You are so insulated in here. You hear nothing. I won't say nothing. There's a little bit of wind noise, but it's so muted. And as soon as you close that door, you're locked in a cage. This is a box of your own world. Whatever you want going on in here is what's going to go on. You don't have to deal with silliness such as cars going by you, which we cannot hear at all. So right now we're in D. You said the pseudo sport mode is putting it into 4th, correct?
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah.
I think changes the ratios around a little bit. And
it picks up for shift points. Yeah.
Like if you're in, stop and go traffic or anything that's not interstate, put in that and sport mode. It'll throw you back. And
right.
Way more fun to drive around.
It's so smooth. I love it. Oh my goodness. I just want more of that. I want more acceleration. That's what I keep hearing in this thing. That V8 just makes such a smooth and slick sound. It has a good amount of power. The kickdown is great. And the automatic transmission is the correct transmission for this car. I mean, I don't think they made a stick anyway, but some people get stick 7 Series or higher end cars, and I always feel like the automatic is just more fun. It's the way the car was meant to be.
Yeah, you can sit back and relax and let it do the work for you.
Yeah. Oh man. Steering is a little bit numb. Obviously, more feel than most modern cars. But, I mean, that was kind of the point. It's a 7 Series, right? They're trying to insulate you from the road. The transmission is soft and slick. You know it's shifting because you look at the tach, and the tach tells you that it's shifting, but you don't feel it shifting. And it's a little slow, but that's kind of the whole thing. The pace of this car is leisurely. It wants you to kind of take your time. You know, don't just throw the wheel into the turn. Just kind of lead it up and give it a nice, even linear motion, and the suspension will just comply and it'll follow the curve. It's great. I love it. Can't believe this thing's $130,000 to today's money back in 1998. I wonder how the Vanos V8 compares to this and how it drives. So I drove a long time ago, not for YouTube, but just drove a 2003 540i M Sport, which is the Vanos V8. And I feel like this is a little more raw in sound, but it's been a long time, so I don't know if I can really say that. Maybe someone comment down below who's maybe had that comparison, really knows these cars. So what got you into this car?
I used to just see them when I was really little. I saw a couple of them and it kind of just imprinted on me back then. I was like, that's such a cool looking car. I want to just have something like that or whatever. And I didn't know what it was at the time back then, and I kind of forgot about it. And then I think that I saw that Doug DeMuro video, and that's been, I think he posted that about 6 years ago on the brown 2001 model.
The M Sport?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yep.
I saw that and was like, that looks familiar. And then I started paying attention to them a bit more, and I saw one down in down out in Green Hills where we were earlier, and I saw one just parked in the road or in somebody's driveway. I was like, okay, like that was the first time seeing it as an adult in person. I was like, okay, I gotta have one of those.
Like, gotta have one of those.
Yeah.
That's so
awesome. And
awesome.
then I went to a Cars and Coffee meet like 3 months after that, and I saw a dark gray metallic one, and it was in mint condition. Everything worked on it, and they were bumping, I don't know, they're playing Eminem or something on the stereo. That's how I
Classic.
saw it, and that was the first one I ever saw that was like up close and was able to look inside of it and everything. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get one of these.
Like, this thing, it's not perfect, but it's got good bones. Most of the paint's there. It's not rusty. Like, it's a solid car. You know, the steering wheel, you can replace this or recover it, right? Pixels out in the cluster, you can do those things. But these just got so run to the ground because E38s are so expensive to run relative to the price of the car. Like $2,000. I mean, there was a time where even nice ones were $3,000 or $4,000, but you buy over $3,000 or $4,000, people would expect Honda Civic maintenance, and then they get hit with their first $1,500 bill from the dealer, and they're like, "Oh, all right, I'm not fixing it." And then, you know,
and
they all
parked and it sits and it rots.
they all shrivel up. Yeah, it's a shame. Well, this thing's awesome around town. So earlier we were actually just cruising around Nashville. Kyle and another buddy of ours, Steven, was giving me a tour because they're both from around here. I'm not. And it was so cool just cruising around town in this thing. It's comfortable. The AC works great. Power,
Right here.
everything. And it's like, it's just such a cool car. It's so comfortable. It's a perfect everything car.
So it's just cozy, and it's got so much space in here. I mean, you can do. I mean, I've gone to the hardware store. I filled this whole thing with flowers and dirt and anything you can name it. I've had to help other people when my friends have broken their cars down. I put floor jacks and all my tools in the back seat and everything.
Right.
It's like it's almost a wagon. It's not as versatile.
Right,
as that,
but it's big. It has
Yeah.
enough space for everything. I mean, this is like this is the body trunk. This is a mob car.
Yeah. This is what I mean. Out in Russia, this is what this and you know the W140S class. That's the two that they drive out there.
Yeah.
In Eastern Europe, you get kidnapped, never heard from them again.
The gearing's so tall. Like, usually a lot of the automatics in this era are they have a shorter third gear, but every gear is like a 4-speed automatic gear, but you just also get a fifth, which I noticed in the highway too. Even when I put it into sport, the overdrive, but not having overdrive still felt like an overdrive.
You still had like way more in the big
Yeah, you get like the overdrive for the overdrive on this car. We'll try second.
I've never driven it in anything besides 4 and drive. I've never taken it down below that.
No?
Yeah, I never did enough research to figure out when to use it. So.
Oh, there you go. I love 2 in these older BMWs because the automatic's a little longer than the manual, so 2 is actually sort of a useful gear on the street.
Yeah, it's like anything like side roads or back roads and stuff like this. Yeah.
Second's such a great gear. It is perfect for that.
Yeah, I'll have to try that when I come home tonight.
Oh, yeah.
On that. I never have at all. So.
That's so funny. Well, now you know you can do it. Yeah, it'll just hold second. It's great.
And then when you're slow like this, it'll drop back down into first, so you can actually move. It's not, like
exactly
like every other vehicle.
It's not a manual.
Put it in that gear, and it treats it as if it was a manual. Yeah.
No,
Unless you turn the little dial here and put it in M. And
correct. Then it'll lock it in. But no, you get that option. And that's what was cool about BMWs.
It's like a semi-automatic transmission.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's cool about BMWs. They give you more control over the car, but they don't remove any of the luxury or comfort out of it.
Yeah. Because this is like more of I've always felt this is my favorite part of this road.
Oh, this is so cool. It's so
more
dark.
A driver's car.
Brake.
These turns down here are a bit more sharp than that other street, but
Okay.
they're not super crazy.
awesome. There's a tight one coming.
House there with skeletons.
There's so much thrust in second gear. The V8,
It just throws you back.
yeah, it's not that immediate punch, but it builds and builds and builds. It keeps building. It feels large, but it doesn't feel too large for these roads. There's a lot of cars this size, you know, almost 4,000 pounds. They feel too large for any roads like this, but this doesn't. It feels large, but it still fits in.
It doesn't feel as big as it is when you're outside of it, yeah.
Uphill. It's almost like a toge back here. What a lovely car. The brakes feel good enough for this car. They're not super punchy. It is a big car. It's a lot of mass to slow down. But I get the feeling for one emergency stop, you have plenty of brake there. It's good enough.
Yeah, I've had to slam going, you know, 40, 50 and go all the way to 0, and it's handled it fine.
$15. All right, we got a little bit of a hairpin up here. And I love that it's so quiet, but also it's not too quiet. Like, you can hear a fair amount of the engine. BMW has, from this era, they did have a really good induction noise on a lot of their cars. And a lot of their engines you could hear from the interior really well. And I'm really glad that this is not any different. Even though it's a big luxury car, if you want to rev it out, you can still hear it. And the V8 makes such a glorious note. I mean, BMWs are the luxury cars that you want to drive. It's the ultimate
driver's car.
Ultimate driving machine. That was their thing. It's a driver's car. So slick and smooth in how it delivers power. It just builds and builds and builds. It just got torque everywhere and it doesn't die off.
Yeah. And these older engines like this, they like to be revved like that. Just for the health of them.
It's good for them. Yeah, it kind of clears out the carbon deposits and keeps them. And I think BMW actually recommends on a lot of these that, at least they're 6-cylinders, I know. They tell you every so often you need to take it the red line to keep everything lubricated. You may be able to tell it's a new day. It got really dark yesterday and we didn't have time to shoot the wrap up, but we have finished our test drive of the 1998 740iL and it was a cool experience. It was so smooth and it just handles everything so nicely. I really enjoyed it. I think the automatic transmission, this engine, it's very slow, leisurely, and it's a nice experience. And the car does a good job at hiding its weight. We said it weighed 4,200 pounds?
Roughly, yeah.
Roughly. Huge car, but overall, blast to drive. So with that, let's go ahead and give it a score. The E38 740iL scores here on our list. It does have a little more features and it's cheaper to buy into. However, the S8 has it in performance and its specialness. Should you buy it? When buying an aging European super saloon, you are maintaining a $100,000, $5,000 car. And with a $100,000, $5,000 car comes regular repairs in the four figures. Being that the E38 7 Series is now 30 years old, a lot of these need restorations if the maintenance hasn't been kept up on over the years. So that leaves you with two options. Buy a cheap one, pray it isn't a lemon, and restore it via paying a shop or DIY, or buy an expensive one that was maintained and keep it going. In either case, you're spending at least $15,000 to $25,000 all in, unless you buy a very poor example and it needs even more money in restoration. In our price range, it's not a bad value considering the car was nearly $130,000 in today's money when it was new. These were the end of BMW's heyday, when the priority was making the car feel expensive as opposed to trying to fit as many screens in it as possible. When deciding whether or not to gamble your finances on an aging 7 Series, you have to ask yourself one question: do I feel lucky?